Hello everybody, this is Catholic Dad, episode number 456, The Big Lie. What is the big lie? Well, the big lie is this. The demons on earth, the devil, the serpent, they convince certain people of certain things, and there's two principal big lies. One's directed at the woman, and one's directed at the man. And so, the big lie to the woman is this, that, because she was the first one to eat from the tree of knowledge, and she did so at the temptation of the serpent. And she did it against her rightful authority, which was her husband and God, right? And so her principal lie is that you can't trust rightful authority, that you have to push against and fight against rightful authority. That's the big lie. Always give your husband resistance. The big lie for the man is this. Who should ever place something above God? No one, right? But the man decided to place Eve above God, and she became his false idol, and he began to worship the feminine. That's what he did. And so the big lie is he thinks his wife can love him more than God unconditionally. Now, there's only three things that can love you unconditionally. Number one is God. Number two is a mother. And number three is a puppy dog, right? And so there's only three unconditional love that you can have in your life. And so essentially Adam is looking for motherly love in his wife, and that's a problem. He needs to be looking for wifely love. Wives don't love unconditionally because there is a prerequisite for performance in the man for the wife to actually submit to rightful authority. That's the way it works. And so women push against rightful authority. That's the husband. Okay, and then men will submit to the one pushing against him, who he is the rightful authority. He will then subjugate himself to her, right? And she will dominate him, and then he will never be the leader of the family. So there will be a child-mother relationship from the husband and the wife if he gets his way. And so both of these things are uniquely disordered. And so I've told this story before, and I don't know if you can remember it, but I have a friend whose father left when he was younger, okay? When he was a young boy. And when he grew up, the son grew up, he went and approached his father and said, why did you leave? And he said, I would come home every single night and I would sit in the driveway and think about what was on the other side of that door, meaning his mom, right? The wife. And he didn't want to enter. Eventually he became so fatigued, he just left. And so this is a dynamic that's a problem, right? And so how do you solve the big lie between the woman and the big lie of the man? And well, it's principally done through submission of the woman to the husband. It's got to be an intellectual pursuit. You actually have to do it on purpose. You can't just feel it, okay? And then number two is the man actually has to realize he has a mission in his life, and his life is for the common good of his family, that he can never fatigue from that, and he always has to do what's right. And so that's the mission, that's the goal. He has to be the provider and the protector and the spiritual leader of the family. And he should not submit himself to the wife, right? And so what the woman needs to do, and this is really just a little practice that you can do in the future, is the next time the two spouses get tangled in an argument. Now, there's arguments based upon intrinsic evil, okay? Like, no wife should ever submit to a husband if he asks her to do an intrinsically evil act. Should never. Just shouldn't do it. So I'm not advocating for that. Just submit like he's your master. He's not your master. He's the leader of the family for the common good of the family. But if he asks you to do something intrinsically evil, never submit. Just don't. Fight like a dog. That's what you should do. But if it's an issue of prudence, right? Like there's no real right or wrong. It's your opinion versus his opinion. And this is becoming an issue of tension between you two, whether it's like, where are we going on vacation, or where, things like that, or what are we going to add to the new extension of the house, or how are we going to build the porch, or things like this. Like there's no right or wrong. Like he could be right, or you could be right, or you could both be right, but you have to go one way, and it's turning into a combat between the wife and the husband. The wife, I would just ask the wives out there, when is the last time you said to your husband, you are my husband, I trust in you. We will do what you're the leader of the family. And then realize that if you say that, you're not being pathetic or submissive. You're being submissive, but you're not being pathetic. You're actually telling him he has rightful authority of the house. Now, a man, if he ever heard this once in his life, because most men never hear that in his life, I trust in you as my husband. If he hears that, suddenly game on. Like, is it combat? Like, how are you going to get a man to work in a way that's for the common good of the family? Make sure he has respect, right, from those he's in charge of, those of his domain, like those of his family. He needs the respect, and he will rise to the occasion. And so, man, if you hear those words, by the way, I trust in you, you are my husband, then you have to deliver. You have to deliver the goods that are for the common good of the family. And you can't be too lazy. You can't watch football on Sunday or whatever. You know, you can watch football on Sunday. You can't watch football on Saturday or Monday. You can't drink too much beer. You have to labor for your spouse, because remember, you're not looking for her motherly love, you're looking for her wifely love. And there is a requirement for performance in that. And so if she says, I trust in you, you have to deliver something to her. And it could be your decision, or maybe you can make a compromise, but you have to think about it. Maybe it's not so bad. But the constant nagging combat shows disrespect to the husband, disrespect to the wife, and also makes it so the husband doesn't want to perform for the wife, and he wants to love her like a mother, not like a wife. This may be a little bit of a rambling video, but the big lie to women, just in summary, is you should always push against rightful authority, against your husband, against your church, against, God. Just always push the envelope just slightly. We have another name for that. That's called nagging, literally like constantly harping on something. Don't do that if it's a matter of prudential judgment, not if it's a matter of intrinsic evil. And men, if you ever hear the words, I trust in you, well, game on, time to be a husband. And when I mean a husband, you better kick some butt. And you better show her that you are deserving of her respect. And then if you do that, it makes marriage a lot easier. And the thing is, it's the chicken and egg thing. So there's women out there that will say, well, why do I have to say I trust in him if he's never shown me I can trust in him? And then there's men out there going, she's always harping on me. Why would I want to be like a leader of this woman, right? Chicken and the egg. Like, maybe each one of you could go to your corners and pray and take your rightful roles in the family. Because if you step up and you become a rightful authority of your family, then she might actually be more willing to submit to your authority. Or if she says, I trust in you, you might be inspired to become a rightful authority. Well, anyway, I guess that's all I have to say today. This is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get to Mass, and pray the daily rosary, and meditate on the big lie in your own personal lives. I think that's important, and it could actually make your marriages so much better. Well, God bless you all.